So we only have one embryo to work with. Now the question here is, will going through a mock cycle and an era or getting even an experienced surrogate increase the chances of a live birth? We're going to be talking about that today. Welcome to That's Just Sarah. This is Melissa, Tara's mom, and you're going to be able to find this video in my playlist, IVF, Infertility, and Surrogacy. You're going to be able to find the link to that playlist in the description below. This playlist is going to include a whole bunch of topics in surrogacy, especially topics that we cannot or should not avoid talking about. And these are very important topics for surrogates, just as it is very important to intended parents. Disclaimer, this vlog is only for entertainment purposes only. This is not an informational vlog. This is not a medical source. This vlog does not provide professional medical advice, does not provide professional fertility advice. It does not provide professional legal advice. It does not provide professional mental health advice. Discretion. This vlog is going to contain very sensitive information. So if you are going through a very tough time right now and you think that you may not be able to digest all this information, please, I really suggest that you go to a different video. I welcome you to search throughout the rest of my videos or do something else to be able to distract you from those thoughts. My name is Melissa Lyman Grover and I am a consultant for integrative surrogacy. If you're interested in becoming a surrogate with us, just go ahead, send me an email to the address listed below. I am self-employed and my opinions are not necessarily the ones of this agency. I wanted to clarify that for you guys. If you're an intended parent and if you would like to join our agency, check out all the information also that is in the description below. Go to the website and feel free to send an email through the contact information form. Very quick reminder, we do not ask for a retainer fee or an exclusivity agreement from intended parents right away. Only as soon as your potential surrogate's medical records have been accepted at your fertility clinic. Same goes with intended surrogates. We do not push our surrogates for an exclusivity agreement. That means that once you sign up with our agency, you are welcome to explore other agencies or even explore your options of independent surrogacy. However, as soon as you go through legal clearance, meaning as soon as you go through the legal process and go through the contract process, and that would be the seal right there. You would have a legal commitment with the agency and the intended parents, of course. Let's get right into it. So I have been seeing an increase lately on online posts, on online threads of intended parents looking for a surrogate that is willing to transfer just one embryo, the only embryo that they have left. So they will put a story, their story, they will share it with the rest of the world in a post and to see if they can find somebody. I want to let you know that no family is denied if they have just one embryo in a surrogacy agency, and much less ours. They won't be denied. However, I am going to tell you my opinion, and I please don't want you to interpret this as extremely insensitive. I only say this for your own well-being and for the well-being of the surrogate as well. Remember, this vlog is only for entertainment purposes only, no professional advice. I think the priority here should be that if you only have one embryo to work with, make sure that this embryo is high quality. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to break it down how it's really supposed to go. It should be PGT tested, right? And those results need to have come back normal. Also, that embryo should be graded high. And in a universal manner, most clinics grade their embryos with a number and 2 letters. So if we're talking about 4 and 5, those are pretty good numbers. 4AA, 4AB, or 4BA, 5AA, 5AB, 5BA. 3, it's all right, but personally, I would not risk it. Even if you have a perfectly graded embryo and a perfectly normal embryo, not everything is actually detected through our current technology. So right now, even if you have a perfect embryo, like I said, there is a 50% chance of a live birth. So even if you do a mock cycle and an era, that does not increase the likelihood of a live birth. Why? Because most of the times where a pregnancy is not viable is due to embryo quality. No RE will perform a transfer anyways if a surrogate uterus was not in optimal conditions. So it's not about doing a mock cycle or an era or maybe getting an experienced surrogate that will do it. Unfortunately, this is a sensitive part that I want you guys to have discretion with. That does not, absolutely does not increase the chances of the likelihood of a live birth. And this is why I do have something to say to intended parents. I know this may be a difficult time, but I know that you may have a clinic with an RE that you may have built a huge bridge of trust with. It could be the most famous and the most acknowledged doctor in the whole country. You could be working with the most renowned clinic. You could be working with a really young surrogate. And that's another topic. I'm going to be making a video about age too. And that does not guarantee or increase the chances of a live birth. It will all come down to the quality of your embryo. And like I said before, the agency, all agencies will still work with you, even if you have only one embryo, even if it's not the best quality. There's always a surrogate out there that is willing to work through faith. But I want to tell something to surrogates too. It is your body. And know that if you don't make sure that that embryo has been tested normal as a matching point before you match officially with those intended parents, if you don't make sure prior to that the embryo tested normal, if you don't make sure prior to that embryo was highly graded by an embryologist, just know that you have a high chance that the embryo will not stick through, and that you would have to go through the process all over again if you decide to start another journey. That is, look for new intended parents. Go through the legal process again, another medical clearance before the legal process again. And that's a lot on your body. That's a lot on your body. And a lot of that exposure, especially if you were exposed to prednisone, steroid, lots of estrogen, lots of progesterone. So it may take a while for your body too to heal and get back on track. And also mentally, it will be exhausting. So I cannot tell you what to do. You're ultimately responsible for the decisions that you make. If you want to go with faith, know that the chances are very low to work with just one embryo. What I always recommend is make sure that you match with an intended parent that already has 3 tested embryos, 3 highly graded embryos at least to work with under one contract. Not to do 3 embryos per transfer, no. At least 1 embryo per transfer, up to 3 transfer. Make sure they're ready. Because then the process to restart all over again is exhausting in my opinion. I want to tell something to intended parents. You may think that the clinic has your best interest at heart, but they have to work to make a living too. They're humans like you and I. So they're not going to tell you, they might recommend you, hey, and they might tell you, we can't guarantee a live birth, but let's give it a shot. They will still tell you, let's give it a shot. Because there is a chance, but the chance is very minimal. So they will take that money. They will snatch that money instead of giving you honest advice and tell you, I would really recommend if you waited and for some reason be able to just wait a little bit and perhaps create more embryos in the future. And if you cannot, then consider the possibility of getting donor embryos, or maybe getting a donor egg or a donor sperm, whichever the case that may be, depending on your situation. Also, a lot of surrogates may get the impression that if you just have, and that's not me, this is just my opinion on what a lot of surrogates may think. They may have the impression that you do not have all your ducks in a row and that you wouldn't be prepared in case of extremely unexpected expenses. Then they would be stuck with those expenses too. Especially if they go in the independent route, because this is where a lot of new surrogates get stuck. Intended parents know that a lot of ladies want to become potential surrogates, and they just tell them, no, let's not do agency. Let's do separate payments. Let's not use an escrow third-party account. And they take advantage sometimes, and I'm not saying it's everyone, but they take advantage sometimes of new surrogates because those ladies want to become surrogates so bad. They think it's all going to work out. They don't get educated. They don't watch videos like this. They go for it. Or, like I said before, they may be experienced and they just play it by faith. You could play it by faith. But just know I really recommend that you really get educated. And this is a very delicate subject, like I gave a warning about. But this is really the reality. And if you're an intended parent, consider also the health of the surrogate. She is putting her life on hold and her health at risk for this. And so if it doesn't work out with you guys, then you will be at ease that, hey, we gave this all the chances. I didn't just risk her health just for one embryo, knowing that the chances were really, really low. So the point of the whole video is to let you guys know that having an experienced surrogate or going through a mock cycle and an era does not increase the likelihood of a live birth. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with us today. If you found this video valuable, if you found this video important, don't hesitate, hit the like button, share it with your peers, share it with anybody that you think might find it important as well. Have a good day.